You are exhausted at 3 p.m. despite your morning meditation, your green juice, and 8 hours of sleep. As a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, I see this pattern in high-performing women every single week. You are doing everything right, yet you are running on fumes. Here is what nobody's telling you. That bone-deep exhaustion might have nothing to do with your workload and everything to do with estrogen dominance. I remember being there myself, following every biohacking protocol, taking every supplement, tracking every metric. Still felt like garbage by noon, until I discovered that hormones don't care about your morning routine if your detox pathways are backed up. This isn't about adding more to your plate. It's about understanding why your body is turning against you. Estrogen dominance is affecting up to 80% of women over 35, and most have no idea. You go to your doctor exhausted, maybe gaining weight around your midsection despite your clean diet. They run basic labs, pat you on the head and tell you everything is normal. Sound familiar? At FDN, we see this all the time. Your estrogen to progesterone ratio is completely out of whack, but the standard hormone panels won't catch it because they are looking at the wrong markers at the wrong times. Here is what's actually happening. Your liver is so overwhelmed with toxin from stress, environmental toxins, and that clean wine you are drinking that it can properly metabolize estrogen. Meanwhile, your chronic stress is stealing progesterone to make more cortisol. Double whammy. The result? Estrogen builds up while progesterone tanks. You feel tired, wired, bloated, and brain fogged all at once. Listen to me, if you are experiencing 3 or more of these, we need to talk. Dragging energy despite good sleep, weight gain in your hips and thighs that won't budge, brain fog that makes you feel like you are operating at 60%, sugar cravings that feel completely out of character, mood swings that make you not recognize yourself, breast tenderness that lasts half your cycle, periods getting heavier or more painful. There was an FDN case of a 42-year-old CEO who presented with every single one of the symptoms. Her doctor told her it was just perimenopause and to accept it. We ran comprehensive hormone metabolite testing. Not only was her estrogen high, but she was metabolizing it down the most inflammatory pathway possible. No wonder she felt awful. If this is hitting home, I've created a free estrogen dominance checklist that walks through all the symptoms and risk factors. Links in the description below. Here is something that might sting. Your success might be making this worse. High-performing women are especially vulnerable to estrogen dominance because your go lifestyle floods you with cortisol, which steals progesterone. Your liver's already working overtime processing stress hormones, and in business dinners, occasional wine, maybe birth control, and your detox pathways are maxed out. Plus, you are probably exposed to more xenoestrogens than average. All those flights, hotel stays, restaurant meals, dry cleaning, these fake estrogens pile on top of what your body is already struggling to clear. FDN practitioners have worked with cases like that of a top executive who was convinced she had chronic fatigue syndrome. Turns out, her demanding travel schedule and stress levels had created the exact conditions for estrogen dominance. Her progesterone was flatlining while her estrogen metabolites were through the roof. 6 weeks after supporting her detox pathways and addressing the root causes, she called crying, happy tears. She said, I forgot what it felt like to have energy at 5 p.m. I actually played with my kids instead of collapsing on the couch. That's what we're after here. Let me break down exactly how estrogen dominance steals your energy. First, excess estrogen disrupts your mitochondria, your cellular powerhouses. Dr. Sarah Gottfried explains that when estrogen metabolites accumulate, they create oxidative stress that literally damage your energy production at the cellular level. Second, estrogen dominance wrecks your sleep architecture. You might be in bed 8 hours, but you are not getting restorative deep sleep. Your body never fully recharges. Third, it triggers inflammation through your body. That afternoon crash, that's your inflammatory response kicking into overdrive. Here is where it gets really interesting. Your gut plays a massive role in this. If you have an overgrowth of certain bacteria that produce an enzyme called beta-glucuronidase, your body recirculates estrogen instead of eliminating it. One gut imbalance can sabotage everything else you are doing right. I did a whole video on how thyroid issues compound this problem. I link it right here. The thyroid-estrogen connection is huge for energy, and most practitioners miss it completely. This is why standard hormone testing fails you. Your doctor checks estradiol on day 3 of your cycle, says it's within range, and sends you home. But they are not looking at your estrogen metabolized. Are you making the safe 2OH or inflammatory 16OH? Your progesterone to estrogen ratio through your cycle, your liver's ability to conjugate and clear estrogen, your gut's role in estrogen recirculation, how your stress hormones are affecting everything. At FDN, we run comprehensive testing that looks at all 5 foundational areas: your stress hormones, metabolic function, gut health, detox capacity, and hidden food sensitivities. Because here is what I know after years in functional diagnostic nutrition. Everything is connected. Your exhaustion isn't about your estrogen. It's about how estrogen interacts with your cortisol, your thyroid, your gut, your liver. You can't fix one without addressing the others. If you suspect estrogen dominance is stealing your energy, let's talk. I'm offering free 30-minute consultations to help you figure out if this is your missing piece. Links below. All right, let's get practical. Here is what you can start doing today. Support your liver. Begin each morning with warm lemon water, not coffee first thing. Dry brush before your shower to stimulate lymphatic drainage. Add movement that specifically supports detox, like rebounding or vibration plates. Eat for estrogen metabolism. Load up on cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. Add ground flaxseed to smoothies for fiber that binds excess estrogen. And consider seed cycling if you are still menstruating. Then manage the stress piece. I know you can eliminate stress, but you can change how your body responds. Even 5 minutes of deep breathing between meetings shifts you out of cortisol production. Prioritize sleep like it's a board meeting you can miss. Now, about supplements. Everyone asks about DIM and calcium diglucarate. Here is the thing. DIM can help metabolize estrogen, but only if you can digest it properly. If you have low stomach acid, you are wasting your money. This is why we test first, supplements second. You need to know where your detox pathways stand before throwing supplements at the problem. I want you to imagine something. It's 5 p.m. Instead of dragging yourself through dinner prep, you actually have energy, mental clarity, patience for your family. You are present, not just physically there. Your weekends aren't spent recovering from your week. You wake up refreshed, not reaching for coffee like a lifeline. This isn't a fantasy. This is what happens when you address estrogen dominance at its root. At FDN, we see women transform from feeling like they are aging rapidly to feeling better at 45 than they did at 35. Not through extreme diets or pushing workouts, but by understanding and supporting their unique hormone patterns. You've worked too hard to feel this exhausted. You've achieved too much to let hormones hold you back from enjoying it. Here's what I need you to understand. Estrogen dominance is not your fault, but fixing it is your opportunity. Every day you wait, it's another day of pushing through exhaustion, missing out on the energy you deserve. Download the estrogen dominance checklist I created. It'll help you identify if this is your issue. And if it is, book that reconsultation. Let's create a plan that actually addresses what's stealing your energy. Next week, we are diving deep into sleep architecture and how your hormones are sabotaging your rest. If you think you are sleeping fine, but still waking up tired? You don't want to miss that one. Remember, you are not broken. You are not lazy. You might just need support your body in clearing what's weighing down. I'll see you next week.